Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Welcome to Our Region's Business with your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, we are on the road, or maybe I should say across the pond in Reykjavik, Iceland, where WOW Air recently began service nonstop to Pittsburgh International Airport. It's our region's third transatlantic nonstop flight and the only one that goes year-round. Today we'll find out why that connectivity is so important to employers across our region that are trying to grow their global presence. And we'll learn what there is to see and do on a stopover in Iceland on your way to destinations all over Europe. But first, the WOW Air story itself. The inaugural flight touched down June 16th at Pittsburgh International Airport with an entire Pittsburgh delegation on board, including Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, Airport CEO Christina Casadas, Craig Davis, President and CEO of Visit Pittsburgh. They'd all flown to Iceland ahead of the first flight.
This is a proud day in Pittsburgh that WOW Airline has decided to come to Pittsburgh on regular service.
There's plenty of excitement in our region about improved connectivity to Europe and beyond. And there's plenty of excitement in Iceland about the WOW Air story. The airline's the idea of a successful Icelandic telecommunications entrepreneur who's the founder and sole owner of WOW Air. Skuli Mogensen arrived in Pittsburgh on WOW Air's first flight to our region. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
It really is. So I got to ask you, what in the world convinces a successful tech entrepreneur to get into the airline business?
It must be a moment of insanity. No, it was a combination of many things. In fact, I challenged my team all the time and asked them, are we a technology company or are we an airline? Because to start an airline today, it's all about technology. How you reach out to the consumers, to our passengers, how you market to them, how you encourage them to do additional services, not just fly from A to B, but also book the hotel, the cars, the restaurants, or tours, etc., etc.
Yeah, when you think about the airline business, it's been around for 100 years. The industry hasn't made a whole lot of money in those 100 years, but you must see a business opportunity here as well.
Absolutely. So we're the fastest growing company ever in Iceland. We've been profitable with healthy profits for the last 2 years. Of course, nobody wanted to touch this with a stick when I first started it. Everyone thought I was crazy, but it's gone very well so far, knock on wood. But we're humble, we're still growing, we're still learning. I've been very fortunate to have a great team with me and having a lot of fun.
What do you really see in the operation there in Iceland? Why is that a competitive advantage?
So Iceland is a unique location geographically, and sometimes I say we could be the Dubai of the North, because if you look at the connecting points between a number of cities in Europe and also Asia, and especially the east coast of North America, Iceland as a hub makes a lot of sense. And by doing a hub, you can target mid-sized cities and give people a lot more flexibility than if you only do point-to-point service.
You've been at it now for about 5 years?
Correct.
So how did you build it out? What was your strategy to build the network and get the airline going?
Well, the first couple of years, it was just, we were plunged into the deep end of the pool and we were just trying to stay alive. Now I think we can add, and it's interesting because as in technology, the network effect gets stronger as you add more destinations. So we can really see the power of the network when every new destination contributes, but also it becomes a lot easier to, for example, make Pittsburgh a success because now we have 24 destinations in Europe already.
And so you can really position yourself against all those East Coast hubs that everybody here in Pittsburgh hates connecting through.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course we have unbeatable prices. So we have a brand new fleet of Airbus, latest, greatest technology, which is more environmentally friendly, less emissions, and as a result, we can offer prices that are unbeatable. So you can fly to Iceland now for as little as $99.
Now, there has been a lot of anticipation here in Pittsburgh about this, and frankly, I didn't know how many people here had an interest in Iceland or were ever even thinking about traveling there. But why did you choose Pittsburgh at this stage in the airline's development?
So Pittsburgh has done an amazing job, I think, in resurrecting the city, if you like, bringing a lot of interesting companies, a lot of technology, which is close to my heart. Of course, just I think the culture, the culinary scene, the Warhol Museum, which is sort of a personal favorite, if you like. Of course, now with the Penguins winning the Stanley Cup, I think it's just a happening city. And it's not only Pittsburgh, but it's also the whole surrounding area. We thought it would be a perfect match. And So far it's looking great. We're doing 4 flights a week, year-round as the initial commitment. But I can already say that the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised to see us adding frequency going forward.
Really? So since your launch, it's been well received?
Very well received.
Tell me a little bit about your background. Did you always dream about being an entrepreneur? Was it baked into your DNA when you were growing up in Iceland?
I was inspired greatly. I went as an exchange student to the US many years ago when I was 16, and I spent a year with an American entrepreneur and his family, and ever since I think I've had this dream of doing something interesting.
So Pittsburghers will hopefully go visit Iceland for the first time. Once again, thank you for placing a bet on Pittsburgh and bringing the airline to Pittsburgh.
Thank you, it's our pleasure. We're honored to be here.
Having just flown from Pittsburgh to Iceland myself, I can tell you it's a relatively easy flight. From Wheels Up in Pittsburgh around 7 o'clock, it took about 5 hours to get here. We got in around 5:30 a.m. Iceland time. And then there are dozens of easy connections to destinations all over Europe. It's one of the reasons why Keflavik Airport traffic has been growing by leaps and bounds. So Lena Sigerson, you're commercial director here at Keflavik Airport. This place has been booming in recent years, right?
Yeah, it has been growing since 2010 from around 2 million passengers a year. And this year we probably end up 8.7 million passengers.
8.7 million, so for the comparison with Pittsburgh, we have maybe 8-9 million passengers a year. We're a metropolitan area of 2.5 million. You have how many people here in Iceland?
Around 300,000.
300,000.
Yeah.
So does that mean most of the passengers are connecting through here, or do they actually come to Iceland to visit?
Yeah, it's around, no, it's around 35% are connecting, using us as a hub between US and Europe. But 65% is O&D, or arriving passenger or departing passenger.
And all that reflects the growth in tourism here in Iceland recently.
Yeah, we've been growing tremendously over the last 7 years. Back in 2010, we were around 500. We had around 550,000 tourists come to Iceland. This year, we expect around 2.3 million passengers.
How big a difference has WOW Air made?
WOW has the biggest growth over the years. They're growing from 2 aircraft back 5 years ago up to 17 aircraft this year, and planning for 24 aircraft next year. So they have they're the main reason for this growth at the airport. So they are number two, but they will, as they plan, if they actually cope with their plans, they will actually have soon be around 30 aircraft or so.
People in Pittsburgh, they have to connect to get almost anywhere in Europe. We have a couple of nonstop transatlantic flights. So what's your pitch? Why should they connect through Reykjavik instead of New York or Philadelphia or Boston or those kinds of places?
I say they actually should connect through this airport because this is quite easy and quick connection and a good service in my own opinion. And also you can actually take us a stopover. We can actually stay for a night or two in Iceland on the same ticket. So make the most out of the trip, both see Iceland or also see the destination that you're ending up in Europe.
And I did notice that your signage here, plenty of English all over, and you put the English first?
Yeah, because Iceland is only around 18% of the traffic, and US tourists are number 1, and then the UK. So it's majority of our tourists actually speak English as a first language.
So English speakers should be very comfortable connecting here, finding their way through the airport and finding their way through Iceland.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Most of our fellow passengers connected on to destinations that WOW Air serves all across Europe. But the airline also offers an attractive deal for those who have the time. Passengers can stop off in Iceland as long as they want, and the through fare to Europe remains the same. In our case, we've got about 24 hours to see a country the size of the state of Kentucky. So what do you do with a day in Iceland? Coming up a little bit later, we'll show you. But first, we're going to find out why better connectivity to Europe is so important to the international companies that call our region home. Our region's business will be back from Keflavik, Iceland, right after this.
Promotional consideration provided by WOW, UPMC, and Matthews International.